In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the serene planet of Serenthia was known for its beauty and tranquility. It was a haven for many species, a place where interstellar conflicts seemed like distant nightmares. However, this peace was shattered when the Zorathians, a merciless warlike race, set their sights on the serene world. The invasion was swift and brutal. The sky darkened with the ominous silhouette of Zorathian warships. Panic spread like wildfire as civilians and soldiers alike cowered in fear. The Zorathians were infamous for their ruthless conquests, and the mere mention of their name sent shivers down the spines of even the most stalwart warriors. In the midst of this chaos, a group of human soldiers stood unfazed. They were part of a Galactic Alliance peacekeeping force stationed on Serenthia, and their leader, Captain Maria Sanchez, was known for her unyielding resolve. Her piercing blue eyes scanned the horizon, taking in the destruction wrought by the Zorathians. "Captain, the Zorathians have breached our defenses. Our allies are in full retreat," reported Lieutenant Mark Evans, his voice tinged with concern. Maria nodded, her expression stoic. "Hold the line, Lieutenant. We don't retreat." The human soldiers, though vastly outnumbered, moved with precision and determination. They had faced many adversaries before, and fear was not in their vocabulary. As the Zorathians advanced, their horrific war cries echoed through the air, causing many Serenthian defenders to drop their weapons and flee. But the humans stood firm. They set up defensive positions and prepared for the onslaught. The Zorathians, noticing the small band of resolute soldiers, focused their attack on them, hoping to crush the last vestiges of resistance swiftly. Maria's voice rang out over the comms, calm and composed. "Remember your training. Remember why we fight. For our friends, our families, and for the innocent lives that depend on us. We do not cower. We stand." As the first wave of Zorathians charged, the humans opened fire with a precision that belied their numbers. Plasma bolts lit up the battlefield, and Zorathian soldiers fell in droves. The sheer ferocity and accuracy of the human defense caught the invaders off guard. Serenthian soldiers, witnessing the humans' bravery, began to rally. Inspired by the unwavering stand of their allies, they picked up their weapons and joined the fight. The tide of the battle began to turn as more and more defenders took heart from the humans' example. Amidst the chaos, Maria fought with a relentless determination. She moved like a force of nature, her every action a testament to human resilience. A Zorathian commander, a hulking brute named Grak, took notice of her and charged, his massive axe gleaming with malevolent energy. Grak swung his weapon with lethal intent, but Maria dodged with agility and countered with a precise strike to his armor. Sparks flew as their weapons clashed, and the battlefield seemed to pause as the two leaders faced off. "You fight well, human," Grak growled, his voice a guttural snarl. "But you will fall like the rest." Maria's eyes narrowed. "Not today." With a deft maneuver, she sidestepped Grak's next swing and delivered a crippling blow to his knee. The Zorathian commander roared in pain, staggering. Maria seized the moment and struck again, this time aiming for a weak point in his armor. Grak fell to the ground, defeated. Seeing their leader fall, the Zorathian soldiers hesitated, their morale wavering. Maria raised her weapon and shouted, "Serenthians, drive them back. For Serenthia. For the Alliance." A unified cheer rose from the defenders, and they surged forward with renewed vigor. The Zorathians, now on the defensive, struggled to maintain their foothold. The tide had indeed turned, and the invaders were being pushed back. As the battle raged on, the humans continued to lead the charge. Their courage was infectious, spreading among the Serenthian defenders like wildfire. The Zorathians, unprepared for such fierce resistance, began to retreat. By the time the sun set, the battlefield was littered with the remnants of the invaders. The Serenthian forces, though battered and weary, stood victorious. Cheers and cries of relief echoed through the air as the realization of their triumph sank in. Maria, covered in grime and blood, looked over the battlefield. She saw the faces of her comrades and the Cerinthian soldiers, all united in their relief and joy. She felt a hand on her shoulder and turned to see Lieutenant Evans, his face beaming with pride. "We did it, Captain. We held the line," he said. Maria nodded, a rare smile gracing her lips. "Yes, we did. And we showed the galaxy that humanity does not cower in fear. We stand and fight." The victory on Cerinthia became a symbol of hope and resilience throughout the galaxy. The story of the humans who stood firm against the Zorathians was told and retold, inspiring countless others to face their fears and fight for what they believed in. And so, the legend of the humans who did not cower in fear was born, a testament to the unyielding spirit of humanity. The victory on Cerinthia rippled through the Galactic Alliance, strengthening their resolve against the Zorathian threat. The Alliance, now buoyed by the human example, began to regroup and strategize. The humans, with Captain Maria Sanchez at the forefront, were hailed as heroes, their bravery becoming the rallying cry for the beleaguered worlds. Yet the war was far from over. The Zorathians, humiliated by their defeat, planned their retaliation. Their new target was the heart of the Galactic Alliance, the fortified planet of Arcturus Prime. Intelligence reports confirmed that a massive Zorathian fleet was amassing, and the Alliance had mere weeks to prepare. On Arcturus Prime, the mood was tense but resolute. Alliance leaders from various species convened to discuss their strategy. Captain Maria Sanchez, now a prominent figure, stood amongst them, her presence commanding respect. Admiral Frex, a seasoned Cerinthian leader, addressed the assembly. "The Zorathians will not make the same mistakes twice. They will come with overwhelming force. We need to be prepared for anything." Maria stepped forward, her voice calm and authoritative. "We will be prepared. The key to our defense lies in unity and adaptability. We humans have faced impossible odds before and prevailed. Together, we can do it again." As preparations commenced, Maria and her team worked tirelessly to fortify defenses, train troops, and coordinate strategies. The human soldiers, now revered for their resilience, became instructors, sharing their combat tactics and instilling courage in the Allied forces. Days before the expected assault, a Zorathian emissary arrived under a flag of truce. The emissary, a towering figure named Varak, met with the Alliance leaders, his demeanor arrogant and menacing. "You have one chance to surrender," Varak declared, his voice dripping with contempt. "Submit to Zorathian rule, and your lives will be spared. Resist and face annihilation." The leaders exchanged glances, and Admiral Frex responded, "We will never bow to tyranny. Leave now, and tell your commanders we will fight to the last." Varak sneered, "Foolishness. You will regret this decision." As the emissary departed, Maria turned to her fellow leaders. "They seek to intimidate us, but we will not waver. We will stand as one and show them the strength of our unity." The day of the battle arrived, and the sky above Arcturus Prime darkened with the shadow of the Zorathian fleet. The planet's defenses, bolstered by human ingenuity and determination, stood ready. As the first wave of Zorathian fighters descended, the ground forces braced for impact. Explosions rocked the surface as the Zorathians unleashed their fury. The Alliance forces, led by Maria and her team, held their ground. The battle was fierce, with casualties mounting on both sides. Yet the human soldiers fought with unmatched tenacity, their spirit unbroken. Amidst the chaos, Maria received a distress call from a key defensive outpost. The Zorathians had breached the perimeter, threatening to overrun the command center. Without hesitation, Maria led a contingent of soldiers to reinforce the position. Arriving at the outpost, they found the situation dire. Zorathian troops had penetrated the defenses, and the command center was on the brink of collapse. Maria rallied her forces, and with a fierce battle cry, they charged into the fray. The fighting was intense, with hand-to-hand combat becoming inevitable. Maria moved through the battlefield like a whirlwind, her combat skills unmatched. Her presence inspired the defenders, and gradually they began to push back the invaders. In the thick of the battle, Maria faced Varrock, the emissary who had delivered the ultimatum. Recognizing her, Varrock grinned maliciously. "You should have surrendered, human. Now you will die." Maria's eyes blazed with determination. Not today. Their duel was a clash of titans, each strike echoing with the fury of the conflict. Varrock's brute strength met Maria's agility and precision. The battle seemed to pause as the two warriors fought, their movements a blur of lethal intent. With a deft maneuver, Maria dodged Varrock's powerful swing and delivered a crippling blow to his side. Varrock staggered, and with a final decisive strike, Maria ended the duel, Varrock falling lifeless to the ground. Seeing their leader defeated, the Zorathian forces wavered. The defenders, emboldened by Maria's victory, surged forward, driving the invaders back. The tide of the battle turned once more, and the Zorathians, now leaderless and demoralized, began to retreat. As the last of the invaders fled, a cheer rose from the defenders. The battle for Arcturus Prime was won. The Alliance, united and resolute, had triumphed against overwhelming odds. Maria, exhausted but victorious, looked out over the battlefield, her heart swelling with pride. The victory on Arcturus Prime became a beacon of hope across the galaxy. The story of the humans who stood firm in the face of fear continued to inspire countless others. The Zorathian threat, though still present, was no longer insurmountable. The Alliance, strengthened by their unity and the indomitable spirit of humanity, prepared for the battles yet to come. And so, the legend grew. In the darkest of times, when fear gripped the hearts of many, the humans stood tall. They did not cower. They fought with every ounce of their being, proving that courage and resilience could overcome even the most daunting of foes. The victory on Arcturus Prime was a turning point in the war against the Zorathians. The Galactic Alliance, emboldened by their success, launched a series of counter-offensives to reclaim occupied territories. Captain Maria Sanchez and her team were at the forefront of these efforts, their reputation as fierce and unyielding warriors spreading throughout the galaxy. However, the Zorathians were not easily defeated. Their leader, High Warlord Korgath, was determined to crush their resistance and reassert Zorathian dominance. Korgath, a cunning and ruthless strategist, devised a plan to lure the Alliance into a trap, intending to decimate their forces in one decisive strike. The trap was set on the remote and strategically vital planet of Velera. Intelligence reports indicated that the Zorathians were amassing a massive force there, and the Alliance decided to strike preemptively. Maria and her team were tasked with leading the ground assault, while the Alliance fleet engaged the Zorathian warships in orbit. As the Alliance fleet entered the Velera system, they encountered heavy resistance. The space battle was fierce, with ships on both sides taking heavy damage. On the ground, Maria and her soldiers landed amidst a hail of enemy fire, pushing forward with determination and skill. "Stay focused and stick to the plan." Maria's voice crackled over the comms. "We need to disable their anti-aircraft defenses so our reinforcements can land." The human soldiers moved with precision, their training and experience evident in every action. They encountered fierce resistance, but their resolve never wavered. As they advanced, they discovered that the Zorathians had fortified their positions with formidable defenses and traps. The battle raged on, with the humans making steady progress. Maria, leading from the front, fought with relentless determination. Her leadership inspired her troops, and they pushed forward, inch by inch, towards their objective. As they neared the anti-aircraft defenses, a sudden explosion rocked the battlefield. The ground shook violently, and Maria was thrown to the ground. Dazed, she looked up to see a massive Zorathian war machine advancing towards them, its cannons blazing. "We've got to take that thing down," Maria shouted, rallying her troops. The human soldiers concentrated their fire on the war machine, but its heavy armor seemed impervious to their weapons. Maria realized they needed a new strategy. Lieutenant Evans, get me a targeting lock on that thing's power core. Evans, a skilled technician, quickly assessed the situation. Got it, Captain. I'll need cover to get close enough. Maria nodded. Everyone, provide cover fire for Evans. Under a hail of covering fire, Evans dashed forward, dodging enemy fire and debris. He reached a vantage point and aimed his targeting device at the war machine's exposed power core. Target locked. Now, Captain. Maria activated her comms. All units, concentrate fire on the power core. The combined firepower of the human soldiers hit the war machine's weak point, and it exploded in a fiery blast. The Zorathian forces, seeing their war machine destroyed, began to falter. The humans pressed their advantage, breaking through the enemy lines and disabling the anti-aircraft defenses. With the anti-aircraft defenses neutralized, Alliance reinforcements began to land. The tide of the battle turned as fresh troops joined the fray, overwhelming the Zorathian defenders. The humans and their allies fought with renewed vigor, pushing the invaders back. As the battle reached its climax, Maria and her team received new orders. High Warlord Korgath had been located in an underground command bunker. The mission was clear: capture or eliminate Korgath to cripple the Zorathian command structure. Maria and her team descended into the labyrinthine tunnels beneath Velera. The air was thick with tension as they navigated the narrow passages, wary of traps and ambushes. The deeper they went, the more resistance they encountered. Finally, they reached the command bunker. Korgath, a towering figure clad in formidable armor, awaited them. His eyes burned with a mixture of rage and respect. You have fought well, humans, but this is where your journey ends. Maria stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. We're not here to negotiate, Korgath. Surrender, or we will take you down. Korgath laughed, a harsh, guttural sound. You think you can defeat me? I am the might of the Zorathian Empire. The battle that ensued was intense and brutal. Korgath's strength and skill were formidable, but Maria and her team fought with unparalleled determination. The confined space of the bunker added to the challenge, but they used it to their advantage, outmaneuvering Korgath and wearing him down. In a final, desperate move, Korgath lunged at Maria, his blade aimed for her heart. But Maria, anticipating the attack, sidestepped and delivered a crushing blow to Korgath's helmet, shattering it and sending the warlord to the ground. Breathing heavily, Maria stood over Korgath. It's over. The Zorathian leader, his eyes losing their fire, managed a bitter smile. You are truly formidable. The Zorathians will remember this day. Korgath's body went limp, and the bunker fell silent. Maria and her team, exhausted but victorious, secured the command center. The capture of Korgath marked a significant blow to the Zorathian war effort. The news of the victory on Velera spread quickly. The Alliance, now on the offensive, launched a series of successful campaigns against the Zorathians, reclaiming lost territories and liberating oppressed worlds. Captain Maria Sanchez and her team became legends, their bravery and resilience inspiring generations to come. The story of the humans who stood firm, even when all others cowered in fear, became a symbol of hope and courage throughout the galaxy. And so, the war against the Zorathians continued, but with each battle, the balance of power shifted. The Galactic Alliance, united and determined, fought on, knowing that as long as they had the indomitable spirit of humanity on their side, they would never be defeated. With the fall of High Warlord Korgath, the Zorathian forces were in disarray. The Galactic Alliance seized the opportunity to press their advantage, launching coordinated strikes across multiple fronts. Captain Maria Sanchez and her team were at the spearhead of these efforts, their reputation as unstoppable warriors growing with each victory. However, the Zorathians were not completely defeated. A faction of their military, led by Korgath's ruthless second-in-command, General Xeller, regrouped and prepared for a final, desperate stand. Their stronghold was on the fortified planet of Draxus, known for its treacherous terrain and formidable defenses. The Alliance High Command knew that taking Draxus would be the key to ending the war. The operation, codenamed Operation Final Dawn, was set into motion. Maria and her team were once again chosen to lead the ground assault, while the combined fleets of the Alliance would engage the Zorathian Navy in orbit. As the Alliance fleet arrived in the Draxus system, the battle began. The sky lit up with the fire of countless ships exchanging volleys. On the ground, Maria and her soldiers landed in the midst of a chaotic battlefield, where the Zorathians had fortified their positions with deadly traps and heavy weaponry. "Keep moving forward. We must reach their command center." Maria's voice cut through the noise of battle. Her presence was a beacon of determination for her troops. The human soldiers advanced, overcoming each obstacle with tenacity and skill. The Zorathians fought fiercely, but the humans' unbreakable spirit drove them onward. As they pushed through the outer defenses, they encountered General Xalar's elite guard, a force known for their brutality and discipline. The fighting intensified as Maria's team clashed with the elite guard. Every inch of ground was hard-fought, with casualties mounting on both sides. Maria, leading from the front, displayed incredible combat prowess, her actions inspiring those around her. Amidst the chaos, Maria's communicator crackled to life. "Captain, we have detected significant power signatures beneath the surface. It looks like they have a hidden bunker, possibly their command center." Maria nodded, her eyes narrowing with determination. "Lieutenant Evans, take a team and find a way in. We'll cover your approach." Evans, with a squad of engineers and demolition experts, set off to locate the hidden entrance. The rest of the team continued to engage the enemy, buying Evans the time he needed. The ground shook with the force of explosions, and the air was thick with the smell of burning metal and ozone. After a tense hour of fighting, Evans' voice came through the comms. "Captain, we found the entrance. We're breaching now." "Understood. Hold your position. We're on our way." Maria signaled her team to regroup and make their way to Evans' location. They arrived to find a concealed bunker entrance blasted open. Maria led her team into the dark, narrow tunnels, aware that this final push could decide the fate of the war. The corridors were eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. Deeper into the bunker, they encountered heavy resistance. General Xalar himself awaited them, flanked by his most loyal soldiers. His eyes burned with a mix of hatred and desperation. "You've come far, humans, but this is where your journey ends." Maria stepped forward, her voice calm and resolute. "This war ends today, Xalar. Surrender, and your lives will be spared." Xalar laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. "I would rather die than see the Zorathian Empire fall." The battle that followed was fierce and brutal. Xalar and his guards fought with the desperation of those who had nothing left to lose. Maria and her team matched their ferocity, every strike fueled by the knowledge that they were fighting for peace and justice. In the heat of the battle, Maria faced Xalar. The two commanders clashed, their duel a whirlwind of attacks and counterattacks. Xalar's strength was formidable, but Maria's speed and precision gave her the upper hand. With a decisive move, Maria disarmed Xalar and delivered a final, crushing blow. The Zorathian general fell to his knees, defeated. His guards, seeing their leader fall, surrendered. The remaining Zorathian forces, now leaderless and demoralized, quickly capitulated. The battle for Draxus was won, and with it, the war was effectively over. The Galactic Alliance had triumphed. Maria stood amidst the wreckage, her body bruised and battered, but her spirit unbroken. The realization of their victory began to sink in, and a sense of profound relief washed over her. She activated her communicator. "This is Captain Sanchez. Draxus is secure. The war is over." The announcement was met with cheers and cries of joy across the battlefield. The soldiers, both human and allied, celebrated their hard-fought victory. The end of the war marked the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation among the galaxy's species. In the days that followed, Maria and her team were hailed as heroes. Their bravery and resilience had been instrumental in securing victory, and their story became a legend. They were honored in ceremonies across the galaxy, their names etched into the annals of history. As the celebrations continued, Maria found a moment of quiet reflection. She stood on a balcony overlooking the bustling streets of the liberated capital, the stars shining brightly above. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had been worth it. Lieutenant Evans approached, a smile on his face. "Captain, the council wants to see you. They have something special planned." Maria nodded, a rare smile gracing her lips. "Let's not keep them waiting." Together, they walked towards the council chamber, where a grateful galaxy awaited. The legend of the humans who stood firm when all others cowered in fear would be remembered for generations to come, a testament to the unbreakable spirit of humanity. And so, the story concluded. In the darkest of times, when fear gripped the hearts of many, the humans stood tall. They did not cower, they fought with every ounce of their being, proving that courage and resilience could overcome even the most daunting of foes.